It's Firm Foundation Friday. We've made it. We've made it another Friday. So today we're looking at John 8, 1 through 11 again. We looked at it a couple days ago about the woman that was caught in adultery. And we talked a little bit about it. But then after I recorded the video, this story just kept coming back to me. And so I looked at it again. And when I looked at it again, I saw something that I hadn't really noticed before, or maybe I hadn't really paid attention to it. So I want to read it again and share with you what I learned, what has been going on for me, I guess, to as I'm learning more and more about this. So verses 1 through 11 says, Jesus went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and the Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery, and when they had set her in the midst, they said unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned, but what sayest thou? This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down, and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. We talked about how God didn't come to condemn. He came to give us life, and he came to save. And when we talked about this, we talked about how he didn't condemn her, and he told her to go and sin no more. Well, after I posted the video, I started thinking about it some more, and I thought there's more there, which there's a whole lot more there. But the one thing that was sticking out to me was that here these men are, they bring this woman and they put her in the midst, exposing her sin and her shame and really making a spectacle of her. And they're calling out her sin. But as they're doing this, they are in the midst of sinning themselves. They're not showing this woman kindness. They're not showing this woman God's love. They're not being very kind to this woman at all. And so I see that they're in the midst of creating sin. They're sinning, but they're wanting to point out her sin. And so, what these men did was wrong. What she did was wrong. But the Bible tells us sin is sin. And he sees all sin the same. It's all sin. And they did this to her. And Jesus took the time to teach the men and teach her. He didn't condemn either one of them. He didn't condemn the men for what they had just done. He didn't condemn her for what she was doing. He lovingly and patiently spoke to them. And, these men, after Jesus tells them, whoever is without sin, cast the first stone. And then they become convicted in their hearts. And one by one, they start, they realize, we're not any better than her. We've sinned just as much as she has. We need Jesus just as much as she does. And so, yeah, here this all is taking place, yet God didn't condemn either one of them. And he took that time to teach them and to correct them and to grow them. And his love and his patience in this is showing out big time. Because in my head, I'm aggravated at these men, you know, and Jesus wasn't. He didn't get mad, he didn't get aggravated, he didn't come to condemn, he came to give life. And these men were not innocent in any of this. I'm super thankful that we have such a loving, patient God that he wants to take the time to teach us, correct us, and grow us, just like he did in this situation. None of us are without blame. You know, it makes me think of that song. My brother sang it when he was a little boy. He's still working on me. And one of the lines says, how loving and patient he must be. He's still working on me. He's still working on all of us. And I'm thankful he's still working on me and that he's loving and he's patient. That's something that stood out to me after, we talked about it in the beginning about just the woman. But when I saw again and see that he didn't condemn the man either, he was loving and patient to all involved. And he just told them, go, whoever was without the first, is without sin, cast the first stone. And then I don't condemn you either. Go and sin no more. That just amazed me because I hadn't really seen that before or looked at that before. That we talked about the first time, our shame, our sin, and our shame, and he didn't come to condemn us. He came to give us life. And so I thought that was pretty cool that it wasn't just her that he didn't come to condemn. He didn't condemn them either. My natural instinct was, I'm mad at these men for doing this. And they were also sinning and had sin in their lives. So I just thought that was neat. I thought I wanted to share that with you guys. And I hope that y'all have a great weekend. And I thank y'all again for being here with me this week and encouraging me and hanging out with me as much as you can. So I hope y'all have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.